Hi, good morning. So today in this class we discuss about a new software which is called Blender. I think we need to go on to a new software. So hope you guys know about Blender. I would explain why we are learning about Blender now. So Blender is also one of a familiar 3D software in the industry. This is too famous because it's open source. Open source in the sense it is free for all. So anyone who's interested to start their own company, like a startup company or a company which is running on a budget where they don't want to spend too much on license, such as on Autodesk Maya or Pixologic, Max on ZBrush or 3ds Max or any other software. I think Blender is really a good solution for that. But does that means Blender is recognized by people because of its open source? No. Blender is a huge community of people are using, and Blender is really good at 3D modeling. I would say that in these days, even though it is an open source and it is free, all the tools of Blender are really much better, I would say, than Maya. The tools are all really advanced tools they are. And since it is an open source, many people are pulling their ideas and research ideas inside it to make this software a better place. So by taking all these things in mind, there are many studios such as like a 3D companies or uh, you can take a 3D gaming company or a feature films studio or a virtual reality company or any kind of content creation company like Amazon or Alibaba, you take anyone, they are really into Blender because it's open source, it is too easy, and there are many people are using Blender these days, and the amount of quality that the Blender produces these days is much better than the other licensed softwares. So I would say Blender is really a good one. It's a lot of community. There's a huge community outside for Blender, and you can make anything from, say, you can even do sculpting. This sculpting option you can't find it in Maya, even though Maya do says that it has sculpting option by using Autodesk Mudbox, but I wouldn't say that that's really good when compared to Blender. I don't think Autodesk supports that much for sculpting. And Blender is just one tool. With the help of that, you can even edit your images without Photoshop, and you can do your 3D modeling. Then you can sculpt it like without going to ZBrush, and also you can export for game engines. So that's really a one-stop where you can do from basic image editing to the VFX. Look at that. Blender also supports it has tools for manual tracking, auto tracking. These are all visual effects concepts. So all these visual effect concepts are also be or can be done with the help of Blender. So that's the help of that. That's a really a better option. You don't need to learn as many tools. So you don't need to learn Maya separate, and you don't need to learn Zebra separate, and you don't need to do Photoshop, and you don't need to go for Nuke or After Effects because everything is done with the help of just one tool. Okay, and that is the reason why Blender is widely used in many of the famous production studios. And when you look here, just like Maya, many studios like startup studios or the studios who are really working on some big projects like for television series and all, these days they prefer to go with Blender because of the wide range of community and support available. So that is something really cool, right? Because when you find out there are wide people just like you are interested in doing that, then then you can get a lot of support from all the people in the world. So that's good one. And look at that, you can do story art, see drawing 2D and 3D. So there are many such features that you could do. Look at that one. You can do your uh, color grading and all these things just like without going for a color grading tool. Okay, it is something like they are there. It's a single package like Maya, ZBrush, Nuke, After Effects, and DaVinci Resolve. So all the tools are combined in one name called Blender. So that's the reason I recommend you guys to go with the Blender. So when you find some, I recommend you guys to download Blender. You can click this and you can download a Blender. So there is a lot of things that you can see about Blender. So it's like you can go to the images and you can see what were the things that you could do. Yeah, Blender 3D tool. That's cool. Yeah, look at this. So there are a lot of 3D tools available, and you can find a number of varieties, materials, many things are there. You can people are really uh, created a big community for this. So you can if you say that you are a 3D model, then I would say that Blender should be one tool that you should always in your toolbox. Okay, so when you apply for the job, when you say that you know Blender, then they will really like you. They'll really like the way they really like the way of your knowledge, exploration, and the need of it. Because once when they took you inside for their company, okay, and when they then they have to spend some time and money on you in training you in Blender, that would take really a lot of time for them. So once when they find out you are a really good in Maya, plus you are really good in Substance Painter, plus you're really good knowledge, and you can do 3D content even in an open source software like Blender. That's a bonus that any company would not miss that option. So I think this is a better way that I should train my students in Blender. So because Maya, we already learned many things. So now we are switching to Blender. So I think you guys don't mind in learning Blender, right? So I can teach you how to do some basic modelings in Blender. So then it's up to you. You can take this to next level in your free time or in the furthermore classes. Yeah. So with that being said, I think I can take you to Blender. If when you find some time, please to explore about Blender, you can go to this several projects that already people have done with the help of a Blender. So if you say that Maya is contributed too much for the feature film industry, exactly the same amount of contribution has been done by Blender throughout the years, but not only in the movie industry, but also in the television series industries. Okay, for visual effects and also for 3D and also in making a virtual reality, augmented reality content creations. So go that. Let's switch to Blender and we continue this. So let's open Blender. Yep, I recommend you guys to install Blender 3 version because I think I've installed 3 version. It's really another interesting 3D software, I would say. So once you open Blender, you could see the scene will be having a cube by default. This is your Blender interface. It is just like Maya. So I can just open Notepad. I'll write down what are the shortcut keys that we have to use in Blender. So that will really help you to focus on. So the first thing we have to do is you have to navigate into the scene window, right? So go with the middle click and it's not just middle click. You have to plus hold the middle click and you have to navigate around. So that is to tumble, we call it as, because tumble tool is a tool where which we use to navigate around the scene. Let me just show you that. You can see, look at that. Just hold your middle mouse and you can just hold the middle mouse and move it inside the scene. You can do it. And just like in Maya, you can use your mouse scroll wheel to zoom in and zoom out. So that's the same shortcut key just like Maya. And if you want to pan it or just move it, it is shift plus middle click. I can just type it also. So when you press shift, mouse middle click, yeah, mouse scroll is for zooming. And it's actually not zooming, it is dolly because the camera is moving in and out. So it is not zooming. So dolly would be a right word. Then shift plus middle mouse button for your panning window. So let's type that also there. Shift plus middle click for panning. Okay, which means you have to move the object from one place to another place. It's not moving an object; it's moving the entire scene. Okay, so in Maya we used to use it with the help of alt middle click. Yeah, so here it is, shift middle click here. So these are the
keys that you need when you work with Blender. This is something much more important, because without the navigation keys it would be very difficult for anyone to navigate into any 3D software. And I would say Blender is really easy in that way. And I request you guys to practice these keys for navigation. Then we can go with the exploring other interface areas. Yeah. And whenever you work with a 3D object, you have to edit the object, right? You have to edit the object from object to component mode. So in Maya, we used to just right click and we can just do everything. But whereas in other than Maya, we have to switch from object mode to component mode. Even in Maya, we have right click and we switch to vertex face. So those were the component modes. Similarly here, so what we usually do in the object mode is we usually move the entire object or rotate or scale them. So that's what I'm typing here. That's the usage of object mode. In short, we call this transform. Whereas in component mode, we edit the entire object based on either vertices or edges, yeah, or the scale tool. So yeah, object to vertex, yeah. So this is what we do in the component mode, and usually this object mode and component mode switching from one mode to another mode. Okay, in Maya we just right click and you go to edge, vertex, or something, and after you edit you right click and you go back to object mode. Here in Blender we just use tab key. Just hit the tab once, you can switch from object mode to component mode, and similarly you can switch from component mode to object mode. Okay. That's what we do. I can show that. But after you switch to the component mode, how you can access the vertex? So press 1 to access the vertex, and press 2 to access the edges, and press 3 to access or edit the faces. So these are the keys that we need to remember in order to work with this modeling. I'll just show you how we could do this in Blender. So yeah, let's select this object, and now let me just see that. Fine. Yeah, I had to teach you about this center point. And now, yeah. So let's press tab. Now you can see now it switched from object mode to component mode. Then at the left side, you can see the number of icons have been increased. Yeah. Now I press the tab again. Now I'm back to object mode. So when I press object again, I mean tab again, I get to component mode, and press 1 to select the vertices. It is done. Now press 2 to select the edge mode. And I'm using the move selection tool here. This is selection tool I'm using. So by default, it would be on. So you don't need to do anything. And press 2 to select the edges in here. So I hit press 2, then I would be able to select all the edges. Similarly, you can press see, yeah, now you can get a clear picture. Now I can press 3 to select all the faces. Yeah, it's all done. So this is the way. And this is the way you can select them and you can edit them. You can make some changes on them. Okay, just tab key. Select any 3D object and press tab. You can able to edit it. Once you're done, go back to object mode by pressing tab again. Okay, we're switching this from vertex, edge, and face requires some practice because you have to use the shortcut keys or like as 1, 2, and 3. Okay, but in time when you start to practice more, you will get to stick with the habit. Now I press tab again to switch to the object mode. Okay, it's done. Now um, there are other softwares which are similar like this, like 3ds Max and Cinema 4D. They also work in the similar way. Okay, now let's go with this. And I think I have missed something. Yeah, I think I should have told this before, because this is navigation tools, which is a moment. I think no, I just tab it as transformations. Yeah. So transformation tools, you know what are transformation tools? They are the move tool, rotate tool, and the scale tool. Yeah, and here in Blender, the movement, rotation, scale are a little difficult here. So you have to press G for move, R for rotate, and S for scaling. So it's not just moving. It's not just moving or rotating or scaling. I'll just show you that also there. See, you can see here, there's a compass here at the top right. You can click here and you can go to the orthographical views also. When you click the z-axis, the z, it will take you to the z-axis orthographic view. Okay, see that? Yeah, this is the x-axis, and the y-axis is from the front to back, and z-axis from the top to bottom. So whereas in Maya, the y-axis of the top to bottom, the z is from the front to back. Here it's a little difficult. Now click any of these views to take you to an orthographic view. Then just middle click and drag. You can switch back to your perspective view. Okay, now you should know what are the axes here, x, y, and z. And when you work with Maya, sorry, Blender, you have to use the G key to activate the move tool, but not just the G key. You have to tell it in which direction you want the object to move. You either X or Y or Z. So you have to give the direction where you want the object to move. That's what we call as an axis. Similarly, for the rotation, also the same. You have to go with an X, Y, and Z. And similarly, the same for the scaling tool also, which is again an X, Y, and Z. I can show an example. I can just show you how to do that in Blender here. I can just select this 3D model here, and all I have to do is just a minute. I can press my Shift key and I can just move them. I can pan the window and keep it the center. Yeah, navigation is a primary fact. I want you guys to get practiced with that. Now look at this. G plus, press the G once, then hit the key which direction you want to go, whether X or Y or Z. So I select this one. Now I want to move this in the X direction, which is the red color. The axis line, on the gray, there's a red line. I want this object to move in that line. So I'm going to press G. Once you press G, the object will stick to the cursor. Wherever you move the cursor, the object will move. But I don't want that object to move in any directions. I want the object to move only in the X direction, which is on the red line. So let's select this object, press G, and I'm going to give the direction also. That is, now I'm going to press X here. So G, then X. I'm not holding both the buttons. Press G once, take your hands off, then press X, then take your hands off. Look at that, it was moving. Now I want to move it in the Y direction. So press G once, then press Y. So G and Y. So let's see that, G, then Y. Yeah. You see that you got a line there that tells you that this is how the object moves. So that's how Blender helps you. It tells you line, it draws a line to tell you, "Oh, I'm going to move this object in this direction." See, now I press G and Z. Now it show me what direction this object has to move here. So that's really an interesting one in Blender, I would say. So this one really helps you good, because unlike Maya, you have to press the W, then you have to click, and we also have move tools here. We also have move tool, rotate tool, and scale tool here. But this G key would really help you in moving the objects. So I want you guys to explore these options and practice as much as you can. Well, then you'll get familiarized with the interface, and you can work Blender just like the back of your hand. Okay, and don't get confused with this one with the Maya. And when you move an object, rotate, when you press R here, I have to press and hold X key. Now look at that, it's rotating around X axis. Yeah. Now again, I press this, then I press Y axis. Yeah, R plus Y axis. Then now R plus Z axis. So this rotation around Z axis. Yeah, that's how we do. And when you left click, there is a confirmation you give. Right click, it's a cancel. Whatever changes you make will be reverted back. So left click is to confirmation, right click is to cancel that. And when you see that the cursor, when it comes to the center, it changes the shape. Yeah, I hope you guys understood that. Great. And if you want to bring, and just like in other softwares, you can do the undos also with the help of Control Z. Okay, that will also work. Okay. We have, I'll tell you some other tools. I'll also show you the interfaces. Look at that. Yeah, it's just undo edit. Now everything is back to normal. Okay. Every now and then I want to work with my keys like the middle click and shift and everything. Okay. And of course, we have a lot to discuss in this, but for today's class, I'll do some small modeling part that help you to know how does this work. Blender is really easy, I would say, when compared to other 3D applications. And since it's open source, I think it is mandatory that my students should know about this so that will increase their job opportunity. Now, at the right side of your window, you can see the scene collections. So there you can select the object. So the object is named as cube here. Then we have a camera. Then we have the lights. So these are the objects we have in this scene collection window. And on the right, on the bottom, you have a navigation window. It says about the rotation, transformation, scaling view. So instead of doing everything manually, you can enter the value here. It will take you. And the shortcut key to access the same is N. When you press the N key, you can get the same navigation tools. Okay, so I would say adding the navigation tools is to press N key. This is just like the hierarchy window in Maya. Okay, the same navigation keys like rotation, transform. It is mandatory in all 3D applications. So this is how we can access the navigation panel here. And after this, now at the bottom of this Blender window, you can see an help menu. Like whatever button you press, you can see it will tell you a tip of what is happening. When you press G, you can see here what G is used for, what S is used for scaling, and what R is used for rotation. All the keys will be shown here when you press. Yeah, you see that? So here you can see a lot of options here, like how to snap and how to give confirmation, how to left click for confirmation, right click for cancel, G or S for move, rotate, scale, and also the other options are also visible here. We can use that. Yeah. Now I can just right click, cancel, and everything is done here. Now we can also do something else. Maybe I can show you now how to model a shape here. Okay, it's just easy. Now we know how to edit the object using a face mode or a text mode or edge mode. Now I'll show you how to switch from perspective to orthographic view. It's simple. Just middle click and move. Middle click and move. For example, I'm going to go to top view. So middle click and I move. And while I'm doing it, I press the Alt key. That's it. It takes me back. Again, middle click and move. Press the Alt key. It will take you to the top view. Yeah. Now middle click and go to the side view. Now I want to go to side view. So we'll see middle click and go there. Middle click and move the object there. And while do it, I press the Alt key. That takes me to the orthographic views. You see that? I do this. It's not Alt plus middle click. That's not how it works. Middle click, then you have to press the Alt key. Now look at that. To go to the side view, I'm going to use a middle click. I'm going to that, going to that. Now I'm going to press Alt. Yeah, see? Now I'm going to press the Alt key. Now you can get, yeah, I'm in the side view there. Again, if you want to go back, just do the normal middle click and drag. It will take you to the perspective view. That's really a good shortcut key, good way to switch from perspective key to perspective view to orthographic view. Okay, I think it's better. I should add this to your shortcut keys in the notepad so you will remember. Yeah, let's type here. So yes, the middle mouse. No, sorry. Middle click, hold, and also while you do that, you should press the Alt key. Okay, it's not you should not initiate it with the Alt key, but when you are in the process of going from one view to another view, then in the process you have to press the Alt key. That it will take you to any of the orthographical views. Sorry, I think I should, yep. and that helped. Okay, now I can I'll tell you something important there, which is how to delete the object. Usually, when you press the delete key on the keyboard, it will delete, or you can press and you can just press the X key and you can delete. So it's just another way to delete the objects in Blender. Okay, just press this, press the delete key once, it will be deleted. Okay, and press Ctrl Z, it's undo, the object will come back. Or you can press the X key and choose delete. That's it, it is done. The object is deleted. Okay, now you cannot see the object in the scene, it's empty. All you have is just camera and the light. And how to create a new mesh or how to create a new object in the scene. That's where it comes Shift plus A to create a mesh. So press Shift A. Now you can see the mesh. You can create all the basic primitive shapes here with the help of the shortcut key Shift A. And also we have text and other options there. Yeah. So I'm going to create a cube. Done. So um, yeah. So say to create a mesh. I call this as a basic primitive shapes. So yeah, you know what are primitive shapes, right? They are like a cube or a sphere or a cone. So we call those as the primitive shapes. So we are just typing it there. Yeah, great. Let's model an object with the help of this basic shapes. We can do that also. So I can just I want you guys to remember all these shortcut keys that will help you to go further. Maybe you just minimize this and start to do some modeling. So here, now you know how to switch to the component mode, right? I can press the tab key and I can select the face, just click anywhere. By default, the face is on. So or if not, press 3 and select the face. And yeah, now I can use the G key, which is move to. Yeah, now it moves in all the direction, but I want it to move only in the Z direction. So press Z. I mean, Z. Yeah, now look at that. Press Z once. Now it will take you to move only in one direction. That's really cool. Yeah, and after that, I think I can make a building. So just like how we do it in Maya, here also we could do it. I can just select this face again, and you can extrude with the help of the shortcut key E. You see that? Select the face and press E. It's an extrude. It's too easy, right? Yeah, and look at that. Now I'm pressing S for scaling because this face I don't want to move. I just want to scale it down. Yeah, great. And click again. That's it. Now press E for extrude again. Okay. Now I again use the shift middle click. I can just pan it. Then I want to press E for extrude, but this time I'm going to move. I'm going to scale this. So press S and scale it down. Then press E for another extrude. Great. Now again press E, click once. Now press E again for another extrude. But this time again, I'm not going to move it. So press E and press S to scale it down. Great. Now click once. From here, I'm going to extrude again. So let's press E and move it. Great. Then again, click once. Press E for extruding. So yeah, from here, this angle will be fine. I'm just middle click and using doing this. Now I'm going to, yeah, press E and scale it down. That's good. Now I press G, click once. Now press G again. Yeah, I'm sorry. You have to press E for extrude. So press E for extrude and move it. Press G for moving. Yeah, it's done. So I don't want to increase this further. I want to put a spike on the top of the skyscraper. So all I can do is I can just shift, then use a mouse wheel to zoom in. Now I'm going to press E, then S to scale down. Now click once again, then press E for extruding it on the top. Great. Now I want to click there and but here I want to press S for scaling. Yeah, just going to narrow. Yes, that's it, guys. We just made a building just like on our first classes in Maya. What we do, the same here we have done, and also you can see the objects here. Yeah, it's just easy, just like your Maya. You can do this much easier here. So I have to go to switch to object mode because I want to take a duplicate of this. So I press tab. I switch to object mode. Now I have to press a duplicate, make a duplicate of the skyscraper. So press Shift plus D to duplicate. And once you press Shift plus D, a new object will attach to your grid. I mean, attach to your cursor. So wherever you move, it will go. But you have to press in which direction you want to move. So I press X. So now it moves in the X direction. That's great. And you can reduce the shape or increase this object size by pressing S for scaling. So click once, press yes, and you can scale it down or up to make the shape. Yeah, that'll be fine. And I could create another shape again. Yeah, I just want to ensure they both are on the same base. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. So remember, S for scaling and R for rotate, that will help you. I can just select all these three by drawing a bounding box, and I can duplicate them by using Shift D, and in which direction it is Y. That's fine. It's really fine. I can now select them, and I can. It's already those three are already selected. I can press Shift D to make another duplicate, and I can move them in the same direction. So, sorry, I forgot to press Shift D. Now G and Y. Great, and I want to change the rotations of these objects. I want object 1, 2, and 3. I should press Z direction. So press R and Z. Cool. That is a good rotation. Yeah, fine. So that's how I just keep them properly on the grid. So now I don't need the first three. I can select the first three and delete them because yeah, the second three and those two are perfect. I can make estimate number of duplicates. Shift D Y. So again, I can select them. Shift D Y. Okay, and also we can make multiple copies by selecting all of them. Now Shift D X. So that's how we create. Sorry, Shift D GX. Yeah, great. So these are the objects we have created, and you can see that they're really good in shapes. We have created a number of objects just like in Maya. And here you have wireframe, shaded view, and wireframe on shader, and this views. And also we can, this is really good. You can see the structure, but it's too much illuminated. I think I can click here and I can make few changes in the object. So what are the changes you want to happen in the visibility inside your Blender scene window? I'm repeating, these changes that I'm gonna about to say, it's happened only in the scene window, not in your output. So you can do them. You can do that by selecting all the objects as usual, and you can just switch and make changes. And look here, these are all the way you can select an object and name them. So yeah, you got to just click a name, and next to that objects you have the eye symbol. So you can click that eye symbol to disable or enable. You see that 3D model? Yeah, but it object is too lit up. I think I have to make some changes in the materials. Like I said, yeah, this is fine, but I want to make a few more changes. Like I want to see the sections clearly. So no, that this is okay, but yeah, let's click this one, that small arrow, and there you can find many things like backface culling or then, and that's not needed now. Let's click this option, which is the cavity. Yeah, now you can see the object shapes properly here inside the Blender. So I just see how it is now. After the cavity, you can see all the sections or the edges, the sharp corners are properly visible in Blender. So I think this cavity option will really help you. And I can repeat this or the changes that would happen only in the scene window or for your display window in Blender. They are not for this display output is not for your output of 3D modeling. It's just for your rendering, for your visibility in the Blender scene window. Okay, I hope you guys learned a few steps here and there, and I want you guys to practice with this shortcut keys, whatever we discussed today. So I know the class is short here because I want you to practice. So that's all for the class, guys. Please practice them all, and thank you so much. And of course, this is a little different than Maya, but this shortcut keys would help you to learn a lot of things. Yeah.